Reset Sniper. Yep, I'm going to talk a little bit about cryptos, but cryptos in terms of the great game of control. I have a suspicion that probably from the very onset, cryptos may have been something that the control structure had wanted to see come about. There's a 96 NSA paper that describes a non-nation based money that eerily similar to Bitcoin. But let's say it wasn't. Let's say there was a real Satoshi that went and did all this amazing work, disappeared into the ether without trace, cannot be found, or that it's someone with an acronym and is someone known to us by another name. All these narratives are the wrong kind of fascination for me. But let's say it's not originally a control structure aspect. What I will highlight as something I've already highlighted before is that anything that requires a global response, thinking the climate change, anything that requires everyone to be responding at a global level invariably means a new world order structure is required, because now you have something surpassing national governments, aka the powers that you vote for, into this new zone that overwhelms all nation states individually and is now a worldwide matter. So be suspicious of worldwide matters that will then, as problem, require a reaction that will have worldwide type regulation. These are doorsteps to control at a para-national level. In other words, transcending the national level. And I think in some senses, while someone who wants to see crypto succeed and wants to see the end of central banking and their great games that they have perpetuated on us, within that, I don't have romanticized illusions about where it might also take us. Be careful for what you wish for, you may just get it. And this thing is something I keep an open mind on with regards to cryptos. Who really created it? With it transcending national borders, whose agenda does it serve in terms of how they regulate that? There needs to be synchronicity. There needs to be a new group called, Financialized Token Regulation Board, or some other horse manure name that they'll come up with, for which this might have always been the plan. In other words, it undermines and breaks down nationwide currency. It also supports the war on cash, because everything goes into the ether and is entirely electronic. So when you think of cryptos, think of all aspects of crypto and whose agenda some of those aspects might further. War on cash, completely trackable. History can be tracked right the way back from every transaction to the original alpha transaction that was in the setup. Who does this serve? Tax extractors, people who want to be able to invade your secrecy and privacy, people who want to kill cash, and people that want to establish worldwide control structures that can dictate to nation states from above high, for which you have no vote for who sits on those panels. It will be determined by those forces. Think of India's killing of the two biggest notes, the harm that's caused on the poor, how it's all about tax, usury, and getting them into the banking system, rental and interest extraction and tax extraction. Having made that as a kind of opening statement, I want to tell you where I see things at the moment. If it wasn't originally set up for all those reasons, which I already have some doubts about, but if it wasn't, if it truly was this amazing libertarian event, it's quite clear right now that there are things further going afoot. And in my view, it is the throat around the neck or it's the hand around the neck or the foot on the neck that is squeezing tight. Technically, in the charts right now, cryptos are at an exceedingly low volatility. That means very tight price range change day for day and low volume. We've just had a highly expansive, extreme high melt up and an extreme sell-off. And it is not bottoming in my view. Also, simultaneously, Rothschild and Rockefeller arranged and controlled money, and Soros controlled money is entering the crypto sphere in venture capital. So VenRock, venture capital for the Rockefellers, is one of the arms and is making substantial investments in crypto. So if they weren't controlling it from the beginning, which I still think there would have been an element of, they are certainly tightening their grip now if they were in from the beginning, and if they weren't, they're certainly moving in. So while I can't tell you I know anything, I just know the deceivers. I know how they behave, and I have an idea of where I think they want to take the world. So in this light, their money is coming in. Now they don't like to pay top dollar if they're having to do any investment that isn't already in their original seeding, as if they were originally engaged. And if they're coming late, they love to buy cheap. They love to shake it out. The original Rockefellers bankrupted all the small independent oil companies by squeezing their transport costs, sending goons around to buy them out at pence on the dollar in terms of worth. And any holdouts were squeezed and squeezed until they lost so much money they were forced into bankruptcy. This is how these guys play. Even when they're in the industry, they mop up and they control it and dominate it, virtually to the last penny and pence. So my suspicion with this very low, so this is a technical comment about the charts, this very, very low volatility is it begets another expansive event, and I think it will be negative to the downside. Negative to the downside makes investing very counter trend. They love to buy when the blood's in the street, especially if they can orchestrate that blood in the street. So to control an entity, to have great terms, you create a bloodbath where any form of assistance, any finger, any offering of their printed up fiat cash that they already control, will see people hand up reams of good tech once they've ascertained which assets are the prime assets for picking up on the cheap. So that's my take, and right now we're in that low volatility aspect, and I suspect it's going to squeeze and capitulate to the downside. In fact, we have a short trade on, and I will be giving my premium short trade away at the end of our webinar tomorrow. That is 19:30 on the Thursday, the 12th of April. So if you want to find out more on the trading side, that's it. But those are my thoughts on crypto. Beware of anything that makes things internationalized and worldwide. And crypto has a lot of those elements, especially if it furthers the killing of cash. How many people have stopped buying the anti-dollar gold and silver and stopped hoarding cash and placed it in cryptos instead? Has it taken and diverted libertarians' resources from the traditional? Look, many believe they control the silver and gold markets with the futures, and they recently installed that in the crypto space on Bitcoin, and probably will be coming on the others, with the whole asset class responding a lot to BTC. It's very difficult long run for BTC to be absolutely slammed by 67% and the asset class overall in pain, and individual cryptos to absolutely moon. They can for a short while, and they have done certain select ones that have real story, real news, but generally if the category is being washed down stream, it's very, very hard for one particular coin or small coin to swim upstream for very long. So watch out for those forces. Don't have any fantasies or delusions about them. And if you'd like to find out more about our trade and also how we're positioning for the Great Reset and how you can build your wealth and how it can actually be an opportunity in these times, but you have to recognize where you are, pop over to our webinar. You need to go to themarketsniper.com and hit getting started, and we'll see you tomorrow at 19:30 GMT time. Otherwise, keep your head and mind open. to these globalizing forces. And watch out, the venture capital company for the Rothschilds and the Rockefellers, and even the open society's financial arm are moving in at the moment, and they like to buy when the blood is running in the streets for that which they don't already own. Speak to you later, and yeah, keep safe, play good defense, whatever you do. None of what I'm saying is a recommendation, it's speculation on my behalf on the little that I do know about control structures behavior. Bye for now, and enjoy your week.